we talk more about the fact that George Washington was literally bulletproof? This story starts back during the French and Indian War. This is not a lecture on the history of the French and Indian War, so I'm not going to go into too much detail on it. There was a war, people died, it was terrible. Historically, France and England have gotten along like cats and dogs, Japan and Korea, kimchi and chocolate, so yeah, they had another battle. Yeah. Britain eventually won, technically, didn't go too well for them, and was kind of started off the whole thing. I'm pretty sure that some of the fallout from this is what the founders meant when they said that King George III brought upon the inhabitants of our frontiers the merciless Indian savages. So, yeah, pretty popular war then. But during this war, is where our story is starting, the objectively superior George logically should have died multiple times. Before I can talk about the Battle of Monongahela, I need to talk a little bit about warfare, because the Europeans had this weird habit. I think they've mostly stopped by now, I think. They had this weird habit of just having everyone line up and shooting at each other, which sounds really dumb to me. But they would also not target the officers, because reasons? I'm not quite clear on that. However, the Indians would target the officers, because then you destroy the chain of command and people are left disorganized and confused. Pretty great tactic. I hear the United States has started using that in modern warfare, because it's a good idea. The problem is if someone tries to use that against the US, I hear all that does is mean that the soldiers are left without a commanding officer, and then there's no one to keep them from just going off and inventing new war crimes. Be careful when you do that, guys. However, the British at the time didn't have this problem, so it was just a good tactic. George Washington, it should be noted, was an officer in this war. He was also a very large man, standing at over 6 feet tall, and most men were apparently about 6 inches shorter than that. Sorry, ladies. Anyway, so they were trying to shoot at him because he was an obvious target. He was a large target. It should have been an easy target. And trust me, they tried. But they just couldn't seem to actually kill the guy. In the Battle of Monongahela specifically, he managed to have 2 different horses shot out from underneath him. Honestly, the first horse gets shot out from underneath you. You'd think most people would be like, hey, let's maybe fall back just a little bit. Washington, no. He's like, guys, just bring me another horse. So he bought him another horse. That one gets shot out from underneath him. Does he fall back? No, he just calls for another horse. Because that's the thing. Anyway, after the battle, they found at least 4 bullet holes in his clothing. There were shards of bullets in his hair, and I've heard stories from this and other battles where he would undress at night and bullets would just fall out of his clothing from where they'd been caught in the fabric. Because, you know, that's how things work in war, right? No. And they recognized this fact. After the battle was over, Washington wrote to his family, and he said, by the all-powerful dispensations of Providence, I have been protected beyond all human probability or expectation. Because, yeah, there's really no way to explain that other than divine intervention. After the French-Indian War ended, one of the chiefs who had been fighting in that war against the British came up to meet Washington. And he explained that, yeah, we were trying to shoot you. A lot. My men don't miss. I tried to shoot you like 17 times myself. And at that point, he figured out that he just wasn't getting hit. Right? He's under the Great Spirit's protection. He's just not gonna die. He said that he came to meet the man who was a particular favorite of heaven and who can never die in battle. And that's all weird enough, right? Obviously, it's just an outlier. Should not be counted. Except, he proceeded to not die a few more times during the American Revolution. See, the French-Indian War ended, or whatever. King George III, being a right proper genius, decided, hey, you know that war we had that people didn't really like, but yeah, let's tax them to pay for it. And the people were like, dude, we were just fighting this war and not protecting our homes properly, so we were just dying and trying to... We don't like this. And George was like, sucks to be you. And they were like, seriously? So they complained. He made things worse. He complained, made things worse, complained, made things worse. It was a whole thing, right? Anyway, eventually, they had this little tip thingamajigger. It was what, 1773? 2? Somewhere around there. They had this little tiff thingamajigger you may have heard about on like Lexington, Concord, and around that area. And, yeah, war, because it's fun. But, see, here's the thing. The colonies at the time were this small group of coastal colonies, and Great Britain was the world superpower at the time, and it was especially known for having a fantastic navy. So you have this group of, again, coastal colonies going up against the world superpower, known specifically for its navies. Yeah, so obviously you're gonna go get the courageous, honorable, noble, well, not actually noble, but Bulletproof George Washington to go lead your armies. So they did that because that's the obvious thing to do. And he managed to lead an army in an impossible war to an impossible victory. He used tactics such as not standing in the open to get shot at, and a Christmas sneak attack. Oh, and another entirely unfair dose of divine providence, because how else is a group of colonies going to win against the world superpower? Honestly. In the Battle of Princeton, specifically, there are probably other instances, but I'm just going to talk about Princeton. He rode into battle, because war. He rode into the fray and came within 30 yards of the enemy line. For the record, just to put things in perspective here, 30 yards, I'm told, is the distance between bases on a professional baseball field. Okay, people can throw little balls with enough accuracy to hit people at that distance, but they couldn't manage to shoot the guy. Like, even if they didn't have any sharpshooters or anything, a decent volley should have at least clipped him. But it didn't, because he was bulletproof. How does something like this happen? It's just, look, as best as anyone can figure, God looked at this guy and just went, yeah, no, this guy's going to survive. They're going to start a country, and it's going to start this whole thing with the concept of people being able to rise and fall based on their own merit and not just which family they happen to be born in or any of that stuff. It'll be fantastic. So he just went ahead and divine vetoed his death or something. That's only conclusion that I can really come to. Yeah. Oh, you want another story? I do have one more. There's other instances, but these are the three main stories that I've been able to find. So one time, there was this group of snipers, right? They were the regulars, the British. This group of regular snipers, they were out. They saw General Washington just off doing his own thing, right? So he was alone. I don't know what he was doing, but he was alone. He was out in the open. Easy pickings. So obviously you shoot the guy, right? That's like Tactics 101. You shoot the enemy general, right? I mean, it's what they've been doing. Works pretty great. And he's alone, okay? There's an enemy soldier, you shoot him. He's the enemy general, great, even better. They just decided, yeah, no, I think, yeah, assassination just, yeah, let's not feeling it. Bad vibes. Honestly, I'm pretty sure even if they had tried to shoot him at that point, he just wouldn't have gotten hit somehow, because he's just bulletproof. The fact that they didn't even consider it, they didn't even try? Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure, yeah, Sun Tzu would definitely agree with such a course of action. I mean, that's what everyone does, right? No form of higher influence or divine intervention just going, maybe you shouldn't do this. Yeah, none of that. No. Nothing. Nope. My book. So, you look at all this, and it's just incredible. Somehow, while I was researching this, I saw people looking at it going, whoa, this is cool. I mean, whoa, what a statistical anomaly. Some people think it's a miracle. That's so cute. No, look, sometimes stuff just happens. It's weird, but it's not. Seriously? Look, and a statistical anomaly is when someone decides that he likes to eat spiders, okay? A statistical anomaly is when the professor decides, I'm going to invent languages for fun, okay? Statistical anomaly is not, this guy rode in battle a bunch and didn't die, okay? Medics exist for a reason. If you're in war, you're going to get shot at. You're going to get hurt. You might even get killed, okay? Lots of people die. This doesn't happen, okay? This is beyond anomaly. This is the river turned to blood on cue level of an anomaly. This is the walls fell down because we yelled at them too much levels of anomaly, okay? This was a miracle. And to look at this and say it was anything else is just plain bizarre. Look, I'm not here to argue that the United States is perfect or that it's ever been perfect, because I hate to break it to you, but it is inhabited by and run by people, and as human beings, we have a tendency to mess things up as we're trying to find our way in the world. But to look at our history and not see these miracles, to not see that this country was founded and raised up by God, is just blind on a level I can't understand. George Washington was a man known for his honor and virtue and his earnest devotion to the welfare of his country and his fellow man. And this man, I believe, was raised up and protected by the hand of God so that this nation might live. Thanks be to God for it. And God bless America. Oh, beautiful for